Start with all my lights and reflectors. They're all securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or missing. Proper color amber and clear. Truck's not leaning one side or another. There's no fresh puddles, nothing hanging down. I'm going to step over to this side for the exhaust. The exhaust is securely mounted. It's not cracked, broken, or leaking. Leaking would be indicated by black soot. My coolant reservoir, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or leaking. It's between add and full. Cap is present and tight. All the hoses to and from are not cut, torn, or leaking. The clamps are not cracked, broken, or missing. My alternator, securely mounted. It's not cracked, broken. The power wires are not cut or frayed. It is belt driven. The belt has no more than 3/4 inch deflection, and the belt's also not cut, torn, or frayed. My water pump, securely mounted. It's not cracked, broken, or leaking. It is also belt driven. The belt is not cut, torn, or frayed, and it is no more than 3/4 inch deflection. Step over here. My power steering pump and my air compressor, they're both securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or leaking. They are both gear driven. My oil dipstick is securely mounted, not cracked, broken. It's not leaking. If I want to check my oil, I would take it out, wipe it off, reinsert it, pull out, and check the oil level. If I needed to add oil, I would add right there. My frame is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, no illegal welds or holes. My steering shaft, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, no excessive play. My gearbox, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or leaking. All the hoses are secure, not cut, torn, or leaking. My power steering reservoir, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or leaking. The cap is present and tight. It is between the levels of add and full. The hoses to and from are not cut, torn, or leaking. Clamps are not cracked, broken, or missing. Got my leaf spring hangers, front and rear. They're securely mounted, not cracked or broken. My leaf springs, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or shifted. My U-bolts and mounts, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or missing. Shock absorber, top and bottom mounted, not cracked, broken, not leaking. My pitman arm, the drag link, and the tie rod. They're all securely mounted, not cracked, broken. The drag link's not excessively worn. And all the castle nuts and cotter pins are intact, not cracked, broken, or missing. I have my air hose, my Airline for the brake. It is not cut, torn, or leaking, securely mounted. The brake chamber, securely mounted, not cracked, dented, or leaking. The push rod slack adjuster, securely mounted, not cracked, broken. It's not bent, and it should not travel more than 1 inch with the wheels chocked and the brakes released. I have my brake drums and lining, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or missing, and not excessively worn. The insides and outsides of my tires, there's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. Steer tires have a minimum of 4/32 tire tread depth, evenly worn. My rim, securely mounted, it's not cracked or bent, no legal holes or welds. All my lug nuts are present and tight. Looseness will be indicated by shiny threads or rust trails. My hub seal, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or leaking. All the bolts are present and tight. It should be between add and full, and if I had to add, I would add here or here. My valve stem has a metal cap. It's not leaking. If I had a tire pressure gauge, I would check the tire pressure. It should be to the specification of the tire or the truck. My lights and reflectors, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or missing. Proper color of amber. Mirror bracket and mirrors, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or missing. My steps, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, no debris. Can support the weight of the driver. My door, the handle's not cracked or broken. It opens and closes, latches and unlatches properly. The door hinges are securely mounted, not cracked, broken, and they can support the weight of the door. My weather stripping is not cut or frayed, it's intact. My fire extinguisher, it's securely mounted. It is at the proper level, 10 pounds BC rated, fully charged. My fuel tank, securely mounted, not cracked, dented, not leaking. It has the cap, should be a rubber seal on the inside, and it's secure and tight. Has at least a minimum of 2 fuel straps, and they're not cracked, broken, or loose. Looseness will be indicated by shiny metal. Should house 3 reflective triangles and a spare fuse for every circuit, unless it's equipped with a circuit breaker inside here. I have my drive shaft and universal joints down in the middle here, and it's securely mounted, not cracked, bent, and the U-joints are not worn, and there's no debris wrapped around the drive shaft. And then we have our frame and cross members. Frame and cross members securely mounted, not cracked, broken. There's no legal holes or welds. Steps and catwalk. The steps and catwalk securely mounted, not cracked, broken, no debris, and support the weight of a driver. My torque arm is down under there. It's gonna be kind of hard to see, but it's down underneath by the fifth wheel. And torque arm securely mounted, not cracked, broken. The bushings are not excessively worn. Okay. And we will step out from there. Yep. And we will have our airlines. The airlines are securely mounted to both the truck and to the trailer and the glad hands. The glad hands are not cracked or broken, and they have a rubber grommet inside that's not cut, torn, or frayed, leaking. Our electrical line is secured to both the truck and the trailer to the electrical box, which it's not right now, but that's okay. And the electrical box itself is not, it's securely mounted to the trailer, not cracked or broken. We have our header board and side of trailer. There's no cracks, holes, and all the rivets are intact. DOT tape, reflective tape down 50% of the side of the trailer. It's not cut, torn, or frayed. Proper color of white and red. And our splash guard, it's missing right now, but our splash guard securely mounted, not cracked, broken. This will give us a better view of everything in here. So we have our Airline again. It is not cut, torn, or leaking. We have the brake chambers securely mounted, not cracked, dented, or leaking. The push rod slack adjuster just behind the brake chamber there, securely mounted, not cracked, dented, bent, and should not travel more than 1 inch with the wheels chopped and the brakes released. We have our leaf spring hangers, again, front and rear, securely mounted, not cracked or broken. The leaf springs themselves, securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or shifted. We have our U-bolts and mounts, securely mounted, not cracked or broken or missing. We have our shock absorber that we can see. Shock absorber, securely mounted. It's not cracked, broken, or leaking. Top and bottom mounts are just fine. And if we want to look behind the tires here, we have our airbag. Airbag, securely mounted, top and bottom mounts. The bellows are not cut, torn, or leaking on that. And we will work our way. The brake drums and lining inside the tire there, yeah, in there. Securely mounted, not cracked or missing, and it's not excessively worn. And then the insides and outsides of the tires themselves, there's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. The tire tread depth should be a minimum of 2/32 for these, and evenly worn. The bud spacing, you want a minimum of 3 inches bud spacing, and there's no debris in between the doors there. Okay. And we will step out here. We have our rims securely mounted, not cracked or bent, no illegal holes or welds. Our lug nuts are all present and tight. Looseness will be indicated by rust trails or shiny threads. The axle seal securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or leaking. All the bolts are present and tight. Valve stem has a metal cap. It's not leaking. And if I had a tire gauge, I would check the tire pressure. It should be to the specification of the tire or the vehicle. So that concludes that one. I would check this axle the same way as I check this axle. Okay. And we'll go ahead and go into the fifth wheel platform. Fifth wheel platform, securely mounted. All the bolts are present and tight. The locking pins are in the fully extended position. They're locked and they're not cracked or broken. The fifth wheel release arm is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, and the internal safety latch is intact, and the the release arm's in the locked position. Our skid plate, securely mounted, not cracked, broken. It's properly greased. There should be no daylight between the skid plate and the apron of the trailer. The apron of the trailer is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, no illegal holes or welds. It's not warped. And then inside the skid plate here, we're going to have our locking jaws, and they're secure around the shank of the Kingpin. If you can go in there and see that. Can you see inside the skid plate? It's probably pretty dark. But the locking jaw should be around the shank of the Kingpin, and then the Kingpin is securely mounted to the apron of the trailer, and it's not cracked, dented, or bent. Okay? And then while we're under here, let's look at the frame and the cross members. The trailer frame and each one of the cross members securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken, or missing. No illegal holes or welds, and there are no holes in the actual floor of the trailer. Okay? And let's go ahead. Our mud flap's missing here. So our mud flap should not be cut, torn, or frayed, and at the proper clearance if we had one. All our lights and reflectors securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or missing. Proper color red and white on the back of the tractor here. Our fifth wheel should be in a position to where you have proper clearance, turning clearance between the back of the tractor and the landing gear. Our landing gear is securely mounted. It's in the fully raised position, and the landing pads are not cracked or broken. They're not missing, free of debris. The crank handle is not cracked, broken. It's in a proper stowed position. And we will walk down this way. Our marker light, 4-way turn signal securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or missing. Proper color of amber. All our Airline's electrical line, they're not cracked, broken, leaking. They're up to proper height. You don't normally have to say that, but I like to say it anyway. Okay, so we're going to climb underneath on the inside here. I'll leave you some room. Just don't hit your head on that plate there. Okay, so this one's a little bit different. This one has airbags and all. So we'll start with our Airline. Our Airline is securely mounted. It's not cut, torn, or leaking. The brake chamber, securely mounted, not cracked, dented, or leaking. The push rod and slack adjuster behind, securely mounted, not bent, broken, should not travel more than 1 inch with the wheels chocked and the brakes released. So this one on this trailer has a shock absorber, so we'll go ahead and talk about that. Securely mounted, top and bottom mounts, not cracked, bent, or leaking. Airbags again, securely mounted, top and bottom mounts. The bellows is not cut, torn, or leaking. Alright, so our torque arm, securely mounted, not cracked, bent, or broken, and bushing's not excessively worn on the inside here. Let's go ahead and step out so we can see everything else. So this one don't have any leaf springs, no leaf spring hanger.